This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're heading down to the Upside Down to take a look at the Masters of the Universe and Stranger Things crossover figures of He-Man and Vecna. Oops. On this side, we show He-Man actually looking. This is a really great piece of artwork, I have to say. I think He-Man looks great here, although I'm not fond of the shield design that they did. And it looks like he's chopping his way through the area too there. On the other side, we get a very boring image of Vecna. Very, very boring image of Vecna. And then on the back, we of course have Upside Down Eternia. He-Man discovers how to return Eternia from the Upside Down. He must defeat Vecna himself. In this decaying world, however, Vecna is more powerful than the power of Grayskull itself. And on the instructions we can put the Power Sword or Staff of Time in hand, and we can twist into powerful battle positions. I would like to say, however, that the Staff of Time to me looks like a flaming guitar more than a clock. But that's just me, and I just can't unsee it. Let's go ahead and open these suckers up. Looks like we have the same background on this package that we got with Skeletor and the Demogorgon. Not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping we would see Castle Grayskull in the background. Let's take a quick look at the He-Man first. This is honestly kind of a bit sad. Like, I remember I did kind of rave about the Skeletor. Damn, that is a massive shield, and that's pretty heavy. I kind of raved about the Skeletor, the coloring of him being like just really well done and made him quite possibly the best Skeletor in the line. He-Man, on the other hand, this is kind of a weird way to put it, but I like everything about the coloring on this He-Man except for the skin and the hair. Because they use like kind of a nice metallic looking material for the harness and the equipment. We've got the metallic paint on the belt and the bracers. And even, the color of the shorts, even though it's more muted than normal, looks good. Like, I would like to see all of that on a regular He-Man figure. Although, I feel like they kind of messed up his eyes a bit. Some issue with his eyes. Not the worst I've seen on a He-Man figure, but not the best. But overall, like I said, the coloring of pretty much his equipment is all excellent. The skin, however, not so much. I do like, though, that they did give us like the different tones, though. Like with the Skeletor, they went ahead and kind of, I guess the technique might be called dry brushing kind of effect, just to bring out the details more, and that's all great. I think if it wasn't for the coloring or the base color on here, I think this would be like one of the best He-Man figures we've gotten too. Although I admit I'm a rarity in this, and I'm not particularly fond of the vintage hair sculpt that they use with these. I actually did like the looser, not quite page boy cut. But articulation wise, like a standard He-Man figure, he's got the ball joint in the neck with the little like ability to move it around. We've got a hinge at the arm, up and down, elbow, hinge, spin, wrist, spin, and hinge in and out. Waist swivel. Although, something in here is catching. I'm not sure what. It might be something actually inside there. But there's just like right around here, you can kind of feel a bit of a catch. And that might just be my figure in general. The legs can bend out the afar, giving them a decent kick. Not quite the splits. The joints are pretty tough on this one, are tight. I can get him to kick out that far, which I feel like this is less than average. And no back, and no butt crack. We do have a hinge at the knee. I don't know if you can hear that, but there is kind of a bit of a ratchet in there. Standard boot cut, hinge at the ankle, as well as a spin. Again, he comes with a power sword in that kind of muted metallic gray, which looks really great. He's got two hands, or two grasping hands, so he can hold the axe and the sword. And then he can also hold the demonic shield, which I'm not sure, like, it's been a while since I've watched Stranger Things, so I'm not sure where this head is coming from. If you know, please let me know in the comments below. So overall, I think this is a pretty good He-Man. I just wish, I would like to see them do this paint job on a standard flesh-toned He-Man, though. And I think that would look great. Aside from that, you know, swapping out the harness on another He-Man figure and the sword and the axe would be great. Can't really do that with the shield and have it look normal. And unfortunately, this isn't something where you can just pull the... I mean, you could pull the head off because it's obviously a separate piece from the rest of the shield. But then that would look weird too. Now, let's take a look at Vecna here. First off, we'll go with his Staff of Time, aka the Flaming Guitar. Seriously, to me, this is just seems more like a guitar to me than like a staff. I'm sorry. And I definitely want to hear your opinions on that one. And this is actually multiple parts too, by the way, which is kind of surprising. Because this is a more rubbery material and semi-transparent from the rest of the staff, which it looks like, if I'm going to guess here, this part is a separate piece, this part is two parts, and this is a separate part. So you have this, and maybe actually, it's possible that the stick and this is actually the same. Possible, but now that I think about it, unlikely, because this plastic matches too well with this. I am not going to try to break this open to look, so it probably is 4 parts, though they almost could have gotten away with 3. Although it really does feel kind of rubbery here, but this is not transparent. That leaves us our friend Vecna here. He is reusing lots of parts from other figures. The head sculpt being probably the only new part in here. Or not, well, okay, that and this little crabby thing on the front. By the way, it does look like it could be a separate piece. Otherwise, this is such a weird-ass design, actually, now that I think about it. Okay, so first off, let's take a good look at Vecna's head sculpt. It's fine. It fits the character from the show. And that's all it needs to do. I guess I don't have much of an opinion on this one, honestly. The body, however, I want to say, all right, so it looks like we have Clawful's feet and calves. Beastman's body, we have Beastman's hand here. We have a Demigorgon slash mutated Mossman hand over here. And then this is like the whole Demigorgon and Mossman parts up here. At least I'm pretty sure Mossman had this too. I guess it's possible this is a new harness. I'll have to double check. Because I didn't really notice the difference before. I figured that it was just the same as both the Demigorgon and Mossman, just with different attachments for the front. But yeah, these are the same vines, though, that came with Mossman. As far as articulation goes, The head is on a ball joint, but it barely moves because of the details on it, and it's just kind of awful. We can kind of look down though, and a little bit up, but that's about it. You know, the harness and the hair does get in the way. This does not want to stay in place, and Jesus, look at that. I don't know if you can see that, but just this, just the plastic is fraying on it from putting it in there. Also, since I took that thing off, it doesn't want to. God dang it. I am not digging this at all here at the moment. It's like once you take this guy apart, you can't put him back together properly. All right, let's try that. I am already kind of disappointed in this figure. I'm not going to lie. We do have a hinge, up and down, spin. Everything gets in the way because we got this pauldron thingy here, the shoulder armor. The vines, tentacles at the back get in the way of moving it. And obviously they keep falling out. Um, and they have a little bit of articulation there because it's just pinned in there, and it doesn't stay in very well at all. And as we saw before, this is actually damaged already. We have a waist spin as usual with these figures. We have the elbow, which does the 90 degrees, and the spin on the elbow. We have the hinge for in and out and a spin. We can kick up a little bit, and we can kick back very little. It does really kind of feel much like with the He-Man. Like for some reason, I just can't get that far of a kick forward. Screw it. This joint right here feels really awful. I think you're gonna have to take care, or it's gonna break. But you can get like a less than 90-degree bend there. Oddly enough, the left side joint does not feel quite as poorly put together as the right side. I'm not sure what the problem is. We do have a boot cut, of course, and a hinge at the ankle with the spin ability. Now we've got his flaming staff. Now we have his flaming staff in hand. But again, it. I think that's a much better look for that staff than holding it up like a staff. I'm sorry. It's a freaking guitar. It is not a clock. Anyway, my overall thoughts on this is simply the vines are garbage. I don't know. It might just be the figure I got because, I mean, this one I think was the first one to pop out. I think when it was put together, um, something had happened in the molding process and it's just screwed up, or it got caught on something and that just wore down that, which is part of the reason why at least that one side kept falling off. I'm pretty disappointed in the Vecna figure overall. The head sculpt's fine; it's new. Everything else is pretty much a reuse, except for the crab on this front. Staff is a guitar. It's not a staff. Just period. It's a guitar, and it's just a lot of reuse, which is normal in this line. I'm not going to argue that part of it. The He-Man again, I like the way all the equipment looks on him. I just wish I just want to see that equipment and that paint job for his clothing and stuff on a regular figure. And the sad thing is, while we could like heat him up and replace the shorts, boots, everything can be replaced on a regular He-Man figure except for the bracers. If those bracers were a separate piece like they are with some of the WWE ones were, then this would have been great to take him apart and just reuse his parts with another figure, and I would have done that in a heartbeat. Got a second one of these and just did that. I almost need a second one of these just to hopefully get a decent Vecna. So anyway, I think that'll conclude our look at the Masters of the Universe Stranger Things crossover figures of Vecna and He-Man. I am honestly kind of disappointed in this pack, and most of it comes from the Vecna figure. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I wish they would have given us a better set of vines here, maybe something that's actually not necessarily articulated, but you know, the kind of bendy stuff. But I hope you enjoyed this look at this set. I was going to add an adverb in there and decided not to. I don't know if it was worth it, to be honest. I might pick up a second one on sale just to, at least then I can swap out some of He-Man's parts with another He-Man and get kind of like a look that I like. Though it's a shame I can't use that shield or that I can't use the other stuff there because of the bracers, unless I can find a matching paint. But I hope you enjoyed this look at the figures, and peace and love.